So Terry's presentation has concluded, and we're left again with only questions and no answers for fighter number 5. However, even though we didn't get direct answers, I want to look at some things I found interesting during the presentation and talk about Namco's hope for a fighter in general. So first off, I found Sakurai talking about Namco quite interesting in that segment. It was just a brief 30-second point where Sakurai was talking about how he speaks with Namco quite often about Pac-Man and it being their character, but it came off in a very joking manner or very lighthearted. It almost made me think, is he making a lighthearted poke about them only having one character in the game? In the end, this probably doesn't mean anything, but it felt to me like it could be a sign of something in the future to come, and this may have been a subtle reference to that. Of course, that is just speculation, and there's no way to even begin proving that. On top of that, there is still the point about Mii costumes from Smash 4 that have yet to show up. A lot of big named costumes that were in Smash 4 returned, however some of those are still among the missing. Costumes like Chocobo, Geno, Monster Hunter, Mega Man X, Lloyd, and Heihachi. And the character I want to specifically hone in on for this part is Heihachi's Mii outfit. To me, if Heihachi's costume were to return, this would have been an ideal and prime time to reveal it alongside the rest of the fighting game characters here in SNK. We've seen before that Mii costume reveals are not limited to just the same company, since the Miis that released alongside Banjo were all over the place. If Heihachi's Mii wasn't revealed here, to me that says either A, he's a playable fighter that will come down the line, or B, they will release his Mii fighter costume with a bunch of Namco Mii fighters when the Namco rep does eventually get released. And to me, I don't see Heihachi being the fighter for Namco, especially not if the rep was to be number 5. Having two traditional fighting game characters be released back to back in the Fighter's Pass seems like something that would go over very poorly with the general Smash audience. I'm not sure the majority of Smash players would even want another fighter character, since the total is now up to 3 with Terry being added. That alone may cause Nintendo and Sakurai to look elsewhere in Namco's list of characters to choose from. So the theory is that Heihachi's Mii fighter would release alongside Lloyd or whoever else the Namco rep may be. There are a few other options, but my guess is that number 1 would be Lloyd in terms of Namco. Now, a lot of people would ask, is it possible that 3 out of the 5 Fighter Pass characters are from JRPGs? And the answer to that is, why not? When looking at Smash 4's DLC, 5 out of the 7 of those characters originated in JRPGs, that being Mewtwo, Lucas, Roy, Cloud, and Corrin. Now, of course, some of them were previous Smash veterans, but I don't think that changes anything. And even if you included only the newcomers, 2 out of 4 of them were from JRPGs. The fact is that JRPGs are incredibly popular games throughout the world, and I would not be surprised at all if 3 out of 5 of this pass ended up being JRPG, so I don't really think that would matter in this case. Now, we all know that Namco has helped develop the game at this point for 2 Smashes in a row, and it feels odd that their loyalty and help wouldn't be rewarded. Additionally, those tales of trademarks that were filed are still floating around, and to my knowledge, there still hasn't been any new game confirmed that will be using them. They could definitely have been created for inclusion in Smash Bros. Now that in itself is no guarantee, but until something comes out that displays those icons in gameplay of some sort somewhere, the possibility has to remain open that they could be for Smash. And of course, I know a lot of people will be constantly spamming this portion of the presentation where Sakurai pointed out that it's more important that a character is fun to play and not just recognizable. Now, for sure, this is an image that you're going to see posted in argument and support of many characters from now on. One of the ones that immediately jumps to my mind is the Geno fans. I'm sure they already have this pinned in every single Geno Discord, but it is a fair point that something like this could apply to Lloyd as well. Tales of isn't the most popular series out there. Symphonia was a decent hit in the West, but nothing over the top and a household name like Final Fantasy is. And Lloyd himself, while known a bit, is a character that is quite old himself and hasn't had too many gaming appearances overall. And there have been many new Tales of protagonists since Lloyd, so he's not the most relevant one at the moment either. So a quote like that could definitely be in support of Lloyd as well. but regardless, it does solidify that relevance is not the biggest factor when choosing the characters for Sakurai. However, that should have always already been apparent, given that we got characters added like Ice Climbers, Game & Watch, and Pit even before the Kid Icarus remake. Now, interestingly enough, I spoke about my theory in the last video that Nintendo may have revealed this information about more DLC being developed alongside Terry because they viewed him as someone that Smash fans may not be too excited about in general, as well as it being a sign of them being confident that Fighter number 5 will be received well. I think Sakurai releasing this statement about relevancy and fun alongside Terry even supports that theory further. To me, Sakurai saying, hey, it doesn't matter who a character is, as long as they're fun, we can put them into Smash. Him saying something like that alongside Terry's presentation in particular says that they were in fact skeptical about how he would be received. That's why they wanted to reiterate this point now alongside Terry specifically. Another thing to keep in mind is since we got no new information about an upcoming direct or reveal, I think it's a safe bet to assume that the 5th character will be revealed at the Game Awards. What are the odds that we're going to get a December direct? For me, it's quite low, and I don't know what other time they would choose to reveal the character. I find it highly unlikely that they would wait all the way till a January direct just to reveal the 5th fighter, but it technically is possible. And if the 5th fighter is at the Game Awards, the question needs to be asked, is Lloyd Irving a big enough name to be revealed there? Even as a huge Lloyd fan, I'm not sure I can say that he is. I would feel like they would want someone a bit bigger than that, but you never really can say for sure. But yes, that about sums up where we are with Namco as it is right now. For me, I just find it extremely likely that they will get a DLC character, even if it's not the upcoming number 5. But with Sakurai's small joking about Namco in the presentation, combined with the lack of Namco Mii costumes at all so far, combined with the tales of trademarks and everything else, it seems that Namco could have a character right around the corner. Guys, let me know down in the comments below what you think about all of this and if you think Namco has a shot at Fighter number 5. As always, if you want to stay up to date with future content, make sure to subscribe with notifications on. My social media links are down below. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.